How is it going, guys? This is Peter here and you are watching a Guild Wars 1 Warrior guide. If things go well, I'm going to make one bit for each profession. Warrior is just the beginning, so stay tuned because more will come. Now let's start with the very basics. I think every one of you has played some kind of a warrior in RPGs. In most games they have high armor, decent damage, a lot of HP too. In Guild Wars it's kind of the same. The warriors have the highest armor in game, along with paragons. Their max base armor is 80, but shields and many skills can increase that further. But they get at armor, they lose at energy and energy regen, 20 something energy and 2 pips of regen. Also good to know they are the only profession with 5 attributes: strength, axe mastery, swordmanship, tactics and hammer mastery. Strength is the warrior's unique attribute. It increases the armor penetration of warrior skills by 1% per attribute level. Tactics consists of different stances and shouts, which makes the warriors tougher or run quicker usually. Anyway, warriors can choose from 3 base weapons. They have swords, axes and hammers. These 3 weapons have their own attributes too. Obviously, if you invest in one of those attributes, you will deal more damage with that weapon of that particular attribute. Hammers are two-handed weapons. You cannot use shields with them, attack slower but have the highest base damage and can knock down enemies. Axes and swords have higher attacking speeds, also you can wear shields with them. Axes can inflict deep wound, while swords can cause bleeding in general. Some warrior builds rely only on strength and weapons of other professions. I will talk about it later. By the way, many warrior skills are adrenaline based, compensating for their limited energy pool. Now let's see some pros and cons. Like I said, warriors are great thanks due to their high armor. They also have skills which increase their HP by a lot or block attacks. Their damage is great and they are decent runners too. Of course, their lack of energy pool and regen makes them bad costers, plus they don't have decent self heals either. They are sensitive to blind, weakness and hexes, especially spiteful spirit and empathy. Frequently asked question: what secondaries are useful for warriors? I think the best one has to be assassin, monk and dervish. The first allows you to use dagger skills or teleport to enemies immediately. The monk is a classic Vamo with some healing abilities, and the dervish one uses a sight. I will talk about these in detail at the build section. But before I would show you any builds, a few tips regarding gameplay. Tip number 1: always give splinter weapon and strength of honor to your heroes. This will make your warrior's DPS much bigger. Also, I recommend a vampiric weapon for more damage. Sundering mods are great too, but as far as I know, vampiric is superior to sundering in terms of damage. There is a debate about this in the community, the choice is yours. Perhaps it only matters in high-end PvP. If you are running a build with bad energy management, consider using zealous weapons. And another tip: if you play with your warrior, always be the first who aggroes and try to be the one who gets the most of the enemy attacks. This way you will help the whole team to survive. Adrenaline is very important for warriors. If you can hit multiple enemies at once, you build it faster. Advice to save some adrenaline for the next group. Don't use it all on the last enemy. It remains for 25 seconds and allows continuous spiking. I mentioned weakness and blind. The latter hurts the most, so make sure either you or your heroes have some sort of condition removals, or if all fails, bring a Zoran scan. That skill will make sure you always hit your target. And last tip: don't attack like a headless chicken if you are hexed. Check what you are hexed with and wait for heroes to remove the ones which hurt. Let's jump to the build, starting with the meta. For those who are new here, meta means like the best. These builds are used for casual gameplay. For instance, Warrior's Endurance is a very common elite for warriors, gives back free energy with each melee attack, solves energy management once and for all. Then you can add skills like Power Attack, Executioner Strike or even Dismember to inflict deep wound and great damage on a single target. This is the Axe version, but feel free to use Sword or Hammer Mastery skills too, since the elite skill will work with those as well. Next one on my list is 100 Blades, a sword build. This build has great AoE damage and spike possibilities. The elite skill deals 20 plus slashing damage to all adjacent foes whenever you attack with a sword, Ergo, if you combine this with a skill which hits all foes, you can fill the screen with nice yellow numbers. This build works really well with Mark of Pain, causing ridiculous damage but strong on its own too. The next one is a hammer build using Earthshaker. This elite is overpowered, can knock down not just target but foes around it. On default, knockdown lasts for 2 seconds, but if you add Stonefist insignia to your armor, the knockdown duration increases by 1 second and the mobs stay on the ground for 3 seconds. This is the time to spam Renewing Smash. With increased attacking speed you can even use it 4 times, which is more than enough to kill most enemies. By the way, this is the first clip you have seen in the intro. Adrenaline comes back quickly as you spike, allowing another use of Earthshaker and so on. And finally the dagger spam. I left this one for last on purpose. I have to admit this is boring but also very effective at the same time, and in my opinion it feels too much like playing an assassin. Obviously this build is pure damage with 16 strength and 12 dagger mastery. The warrior's DPS is amazing. Basically use the 3 dagger skills in the good order, then have warrior's endurance active and you will never run out of energy. Also you can spam save yourselves to help out allies. So even though this build is overpowered, this is not the same feeling like playing with an axe, sword or hammer. Alright guys, now it's time for the new anniversary elites. For those who don't know, from April 2020 we can use 10 new elites, one for each profession. Actually, the developers gave warriors a very useful elite luckily. It's called 7 weapon stance. The name says it all. This is a stance which is great for using different weapons. The skill increases attacking speed by 33% and weapon attributes by 16. So you can get 20 attributes with investing only 4 levels on that particular attribute. Now this gives the wars many choices. You can get 20 in sight mastery and be a badass war dervish hybrid. Also good to know that your energy management is not as smooth as with warrior's endurance, for example, so try to use a combination of adrenaline and low energy skills. There is a hammer version too, very similar to the one I showed you, but here Yeti Smash provides the knockdown. 20 hammer mastery is so great guys, give it a try. Anyway, these 7 weapon stance builds are easily in the meta category. I'm pretty sure Symbolic Strike will not ring a bell for many of you. This is a melee attack. For each signet you have equipped it deals plus 12 damage. Let's say you put 6 signets into your build, you get the maximum plus 70 damage. Battle Rage is a good choice because of the double adrenaline gain. This is a simple build but does decent damage on a single target. The next one is a classic build, it smells like 2005. In theory this build has everything to be great: snare, self-heal, self-defense, AoE damage. Sadly splitting the attribute points this much was never a good idea, and who would have thought that warriors don't have enough energy to cast 10 or 15 energy spells. The community calls this build Hamstorm. Now it's another classic build. You don't have a monk in your build, not a problem anymore. The Vemo is capable of it all. Damage done, healing done. Sadly this build made their users a bad warrior and a bad monk too. Works much better if you solo farm as a Vemo though. The next build is just for the lols. Put it on Kos and he will show his abilities. Important note guys, always start the fight with frenzy and make sure your energy is maximum 20. The next build is fun too. Good old gladiator's defense is not really used these days, but I always like the fact that mobs die just by attacking my character. Works only against melees sadly, but it deals nice damage anyway and can be maintained endlessly with on your knees and a knockdown skill. So guys, let me show you the best solo farms for warriors. First of all, Raptor farm, 100 blades and Mark of Pain. I have mentioned them before, they go hand in hand and your damage increases linearly with the number of enemies. The more fools, the better it gets. Use Mark of Pain on the first Raptor, run around the Raptor cave, stop around the boss, use Very Stance, use Mark of Pain again and spike them down. Not too easy but a very profitable farm during events. The Paragon hero is required for safer runs, but the warriors can do without a hero as well. The next farm is called the Halcyon Job, aka Luxon Assassin farm. works similarly to the Raptor farm, but here 100 blades is enough, you don't need Mark of Pain. I said that Vammo build sucks normally, but in the right place and at the right time it can be great. Low HP is a must have for Protective Spirit to work, and anyway here mobs drop unneeded armor, so chances are high for good runes. Also iron from salvaging, Luxon pendants and dust from silk. The next farm is very beginner friendly. There are low level Sanzali birds on the noob island in Kanta. This may sound not worthy at first, but these creatures drop feathers and scalps very often. Plus feathers are still valuable, making this a profitable farm. Don't forget to salvage the scalps too and identify the armor pieces. And now I can present another elite skill here. Nalani Academy is a good example of how tanky warriors can get with skills like Defy Pain and Doyak Signet. Make the chars stuck at the wall and boom boom, give them what they deserve. Another classic comes now, Gates of Kryta. Very similar to Nolani, but here we add holy damage to the souls, since undead enemies receive double damage from it. Bones, dust or emblems, unneeded golds are on the drop list here. And for last but not least, the good old Smite Crawler farm in the underworld. Back in the days we could farm with Venchuva's Kanhai build, but sadly that's nerfed here, so 100 blades helps us out instead. Drain the Smite's energy first with Sympathetic Visage and spike with 100 blades, whirlwind attack and hope for Ectos. Alright guys, truth is warriors are rarely used in speed clears, and I'm not a speed clearer myself, but I checked speed clear wiki, asked speed clearer friends who know the way around, and it turns out that warriors are only used in the deep as a tank, or very rarely for nostalgic reasons in Fissure of Wu as a 100 blade spiker. Dervishes outshine them in speed clears, this is the truth. And anyway, 100 blades, some blocking skills, I am unstoppable, whirlwind attack are in their deep build. Guys, honest opinion, warriors are a fun profession. If you enjoy the classic hack and slash gameplay, they will be a good choice for you. They can tank, they can do massive damage, even if some other professions do speed clear stuff better than they do. So they are a good choice for casual PvE, but if you are looking for some speed clear character, there are better options. Also their dance is probably the funniest of all, and let's not forget about their fancy armor either. I really hope watching this vid will encourage people to create a new warrior. Sadly it's time to say goodbye, but if you enjoyed the vid, please give it a thumbs up or subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time guys.